So what's new?
You know, it's cold out.
Yeah, yeah, a little bit.
Other other than that, it's just same stuff day to day. Go to work, come home,
Yeah,
maybe do a little woodworking.
yeah. I see you build guitars.
Well, I built one, and I'm working on a second one. Figured I'd give it a go. Why not?
Yeah, nice. So what was the first one?
The first one, actually, I for my 50th birthday, I went down to Texas and took a one-on-one class with Sully of Sully Guitars. My wife sent me down there for my birthday, and it was quite an awesome experience.
Yeah,
A lot of a lot of uh, out of comfort zone type stuff. I'm staying in an Airbnb with people I don't know. They were there in the house. I had the corner of it. That was pretty neat.
yeah.
And then I'm going to this guy's house to learn how to build a guitar.
Wow.
And but yeah, that was it was a Super Strat, which I actually got right here.
Yeah,
I
nice.
had it sent out and painted. I mean, the fretboard was already slotted,
Yeah,
and whatnot, but this was a bunch of pieces of wood. The neck blank was pretty much ready to go with the head angle. We used some
yeah,
templates and did some routing, and flew home with the guitar. But it was a
yeah,
really cool experience. I ended up taking a bunch of notes, which I just used recently on the neck that I have going for my Flying V, because I figured, I was waiting for the body to come back from paint, and I said, I'm going to build a V body for this neck, and then when I get the thing back from paint, I'm going to build another neck. And in the meantime, it came back from paint, and I said, okay, so let's do something different. Let's do a set neck.
yeah,
To which I was advised, kind of, hey, geometry is a cruel mistress. You might want to do a couple bolt-ons first. And I'm
yeah.
like, challenge accepted. Challenge accepted. Let's do this. And
Cool.
started working on that. I got a couple of templates here and there, and it's coming along. I was actually just cutting some frets a little deeper and whatnot, because I'm sanding the fretboard. It's takes it down a level, takes it down a level. It's like, all right, gotta get
Right.
the depth set again.
Yeah.
But I saw that you had built yourself a V and painted it up. I mean a V, an Explorer.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that came out pretty.
Just messing around.
That's cool though. It came out nice. The
Yeah.
EVH theme.
Right. Right. Um, you know how he had the Ibanez. It wasn't really an Explorer, but
Yep.
the Ibanez copy that he used on
Yep.
like I think the first couple albums, and
Yeah.
then cut like a big chunk out of the body, and
Yep.
I guess that destroyed the sound of it for him.
I don't know. I know it did a whole bunch of. He did a whole bunch of tweaks and things on it, and they called it the Shark.
Right, right. But I guess he cut some chunks out and then didn't like the resulting
Yeah.
tone.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do like, have it look kind of like what it would be if he hadn't cut chunks out.
Right. Yeah. Which and it came out really cool.
If like me, if maybe instead of moving on to the Frankenstrat guitar, the Frankenstein one, if the Ibanez Explorer was the one that he ended up playing.
Right. Right. That would have been cool too.
Yeah,
But I know there's reissues of that Shark guitar out there too that are specifically made to look like it. I've seen
right,
those.
right, with the chunks cut out of the body and everything.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
But
Yep.
yeah,
So cool. So the
it's
one you're working on now is the second guitar.
it's the second one that I built. I actually, like I said, I got the neck shaped a couple weeks ago, um, and I wasn't happy because it was a little low up in here, and it
Yeah.
was kind of squared off in the edges, and I was using microplanes and 80 grit sandpaper, and it still
Mhm.
wasn't quite taken off enough of the roundness. So here it comes. You got a few moments to talk about the Shinto rasp?
Yes.
these things are awesome, man. I picked this up, and I can't say enough good things about it. It's got a coarse side and a fine side,
Yeah.
and just by going over this thing here, and up and down, it cuts pretty much in every direction, and
Yeah.
then you get to the fine side, and it just takes off little bits of dust, and then at the end of it, you can use the end to get in on the little volute here. I'm sitting here
Yeah.
using I'm using a a little half round file, and I'm like, this really isn't getting anything done. So then I'm looking at this going, wait a minute, if I use the end of that thing, I can get right in there and I can get done what I need to get done. And I'm pretty happy with how this is now. It's funny. It
looks great.
The experience on these things. Thank you. The experience on these things is basically you back yourself into a corner because you made a mistake. And all of a sudden you're like, oh, how do I fix this now? And then you have to do something to fix it. And there's so many things that it's funny. One of my friends that was down the street was saying, he's like, you're the only one that's going to notice unless you point them out to people. And I'm like, yeah, right. True, I suppose. But it's one of those things where you learn from it and you move on and you try to make the next one better, Right.
Yeah. Happy little accidents.
Yeah. Right. The back of it, I had a big piece of on the back of the body right here. I had a big piece of blowout. So I don't know whether I was trying to take a shortcut or what I thought I was going to do, but I ended up just getting a piece of MDF, making a template and taped it on and routed it out in like one shot and it was done. And I'm like, just made it a little bit, cavity needed to be a little bit bigger. That's all.
Yeah. Whatever.
But
whatever. I love how the wall behind you matches the neck wood on the one you're building.
That's funny. I hadn't really even thought about that, but yeah, this was our COVID project, our 3-season room. We turned it into a dining room, which it's not insulated enough, and it doesn't really have a heat source. So it's I have a couple of exterior, plug-in heaters out here at the moment, but yeah, this came out pretty cool too. This was another one of those, let's do this. Growing up, you learn how to make things and you learn how to fix mistakes and go from there.
Right. Yeah.
We grew up basically building our own bicycles from frames out of the dump, and you break one, and then you go back to the dump and get another frame and put another one together.
Right. Yeah.
Like that. But,
cool. So I see. Is that a Sully guitar shirt?
It is. It is.
So what's the deal with you and Sully guitars?
I'm pretty much a huge fan. That's about it. And like I said, I get to go down to. I knew the guy from Jackson Chevelle Forum, where he was an admin. I knew of him, I should say, and I started following him on Facebook. And he's just a really down to earth, genuine, cool guy. And he's at the point, I think, to me anyway, where like Grover Jackson was. It's like Grover's got his own Chevelle guitars. And there's a bunch of interviews. There's a recent one that came out with him that was pretty awesome. But he's my Grover Jackson. It's like this guy is just very enigmatic character. And he is a character. Funny guy. Very cool. Like I said, go down there and it's okay. Here we go. I get to get like a little peek behind the curtain on stuff because he's pretty much a one-man show for what he's doing. And now he's got his conspiracy line that he's got going out there from Korea. And it's kind of like, well, I believe at the time Chevelle had already been picked up and bought from Grover but they had started making the Japanese stuff. I mean, I got into Chevelles with my 88 Model 6. And it's like, okay, I can't afford a soloist, but I can kind of afford this Model 6, and it's pretty much the same thing, just made in Japan. So he's got that going at the moment and whatnot, and I just really like his products. I picked up a Sully Alita from the Conspiracy series last year. Last year, yes, came in February last year. And that thing is just, I mean, it's basically an Explorer type shape and whatnot, but it's his take on it. And it's a phenomenal guitar. I had an older Jackson from Korea, and it was kind of like, the quality on this is just so, but not so anymore. The stuff coming out of there is awesome.
Yeah.
And he's just a phenomenal builder. And like I said, just all around cool guy.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool. I had a Model 6 back in the late 80s, maybe 89, 90 or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Great guitar. I still have mine. I don't plan on parting with it. It was like my third real guitar.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know how fickle guitar players are.
Right.
I hated it.
Oh, no way. Really?
I couldn't get rid of it fast enough.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, and this was back in the days of remember the paper want ads?
Yep.
And
Yep.
you'd go down to the store and buy them each week, and you'd go
Yep.
through them, you know, and then you call some guy and you show up and he's selling a
Yep.
guitar. So I bought it for pretty cheap and then just resold it, knowing
Yep.
me, probably for at a small profit.
Yeah.
But you know, I certainly didn't get hurt by it.
Right.
But I bought it because I'm like, Charvel, like awesome, like how metal is that? And
Right.
it just
You just
the
didn't get
nut width was too wide.
Yeah.
The contour of the back of the neck was too
Yep.
flat and rounded on the like shoulders of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I wasn't into it. Had like a floating locking trem, you know, the double
Yeah. Yeah.
locking,
Yeah.
and I didn't really like that because I play pretty heavy with my hand on the bridge, and
Yeah.
just everything about it, I was like, this is a disaster for me.
That's funny.
Yeah.
And it is funny too, because I mean, it's for me. I loved mine right away, and it was just like, okay, this is it.
Right. You know, and then like the guitars I play, I have like students that try them and stuff, you know, pre-COVID, of course.
Right.
And it's like the strings are like nines tuned down to E flat, and the action
Yeah.
is like this high up off the neck, you know, so I can get, so
Yeah.
there's like no fret buzz whatsoever. Like all
Yeah.
the notes come out as clear as possible. And they're like, I don't even know how you can play this.
Yeah, it's funny, man. Even like between the different ones that I've got with the setup and stuff on them, I'm finding some of the stuff it's easier to play. I was lazy when I was growing up and didn't practice scales, and it's like, you know, stuff like Green Day and whatnot comes along, and it's like awesome power chords, no solos. This is the best ever, and and the stuff now, it's like, all right, I better start going back and learning some stuff and see what I can do. And the things that have higher action than some of the other ones are actually easier to play, you know, up on the high end of the fretboard,
Mhm.
the dusty end, as they say.
Yes.
but but yeah, you know, it's like I had varied interests growing up and stuff, and it would be, I'd either be on a BMX bike when I was younger, then it was dirt bikes and guitars, you know, and
Yeah.
that was about it. But
Yeah.
so it's, you know, am I going to go ride my motorcycle? Am I going to ride my bicycle? Am I going to go play guitar? Well, you know, I know how to play this song kind of. I'm going to go out and ride.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
So
know,
you
so
ride,
that's
you
it.
ride dirt bikes a lot?
I don't ride as much as I'd like to. I have been riding more in recent years. We grew up, lucky enough to grow up with like 2 or 3 motocross tracks right behind my parents' house. One of them actually on the property that we built,
Mhm.
and my brother and I used to race New England. We used to race motocross in New England, and I've always pretty much had a dirt bike or two. And right now, I still have my '95 KTM, and I bought a 2017 four-stroke. I joined the four-stroke, the dark side,
Yeah.
but it's a KTM 350 SXF, and it's just so easy to ride. It's like you put it in third gear and just go.
Yeah.
And you know, I figured these days it's like, okay, you go to a track and you just do a track day, and it's not like it was when we were growing up where you could just go out into the woods and ride for days. You know, it's like you just go and ride and come back and fill up and go back out and ride and come back and fill up. And now it's kind of load up, go to the track, go ride, come home, unload, wash the
Yeah.
thing. But yeah, I've been riding off and on since like '82. My dad came home with a little 2-stroke street bike that we put a knobby tire on and proceeded to beat the crap out of.
Yeah.
And then got some real motocross bikes and started racing. And that was kind of the whole family event on Sunday. You know, you load up at 5 o'clock in the morning right before sunrise, and dad's driving and you're in the back of the truck when you could ride in the back of the truck. And the trailer's got the bikes, and you got all your gear, and you take a nap and get to the racetrack and get entered and go.
Yeah. Cool. So
But
in you said, you know, obviously you still ride.
yeah,
So what's the lifelong appeal?
it's you know, it's interesting because it's one of those things where you can escape from everything else. You have to be kind of in your head at the moment. You know, you're not thinking about work. You're not thinking about money, or you're not thinking about bills. You're not thinking about, I have to do this on the house, I have to do that. It's you're right there. It's like, I need to be focused so that I can hit this corner the way that I want to hit this corner. I have to make it over this jump so that I can hit the next one correctly. It's all right there. You're in the moment, and that's it. And it's just, it's just such a blast.
Okay, well, it's probably a good thing that I don't ride any sort of motorbikes, because what you just explained, I would not be able to fit that in my head, because all I would be thinking is I could be hideously maimed or killed, and nothing
Yeah,
else would be able to fit in there. So it's
right.
probably a good thing that I'm nowhere near a bike.
Yeah, I've been riding, you typically, if back in the day, it's like, if you're not crashing, you're not trying hard enough, and you learn how to crash. You end up rolling with it and whatnot. And these days I don't go quite as hard as I used to. It's the jumps and stuff that some of these guys are doing, like the professionals and whatnot. It's like, yeah, I don't need to hit that. I don't need to do that. I can be perfectly fine never jumping that 100-foot double jump. I'll just roll through it and have a good time and come back next week in one piece. And that's the goal, is going home in one piece.
Yeah, cool.
For the most part.
So what else do you do?
Went skiing last week for the first time in 25 years and whatnot. And that was a good time until my son crashed and broke his leg, but it is what it is.
And see, that's the
again,
same reason I don't like skiing. Same thing. Maimed, killed, like, I can't do this.
Yeah, it's one of the risks and stuff, but for the most part, I work at the Mazda dealer in Norwood as the parts manager. So I got work, come home, I get 2 kids, 2 boys, 16 and a 13-year-old. And my wife, who's working way too much, she's been working from home since all of this started. So I get it. It's kind of like a cabin fever type of thing. And I get home and it's like, I just want to relax, and you really can't do a whole lot like you used to be able to do and go out and do stuff. But for the moment, I practice a little bit here and there, and do some woodworking in the evening when I get home if I feel like it. And like I said, I got no time frame on this thing. I'm not building it for somebody. I'm building it for myself.
Yeah.
So whenever it gets finished, it gets finished. But it's getting there. It's getting closer. It's almost ready to get the neck glued in. And I'm sitting here going, now, do I fret it before I glue the neck in, or do I glue the neck in and then fret it?
Yeah.
Deal with it, because it's those frets that are going to be clamped down on. I'm going to have to do a fret job on it anyway after it's glued in and the frets are done. You level them out and all the fun stuff there. But I'm sitting there like, yeah, now do I glue it first or not? Because if I glue it first, then it's going to be kind of cumbersome, getting it to fret, but I'll these are the things you learn as you go.
Yeah.
And try to work on it for the next one.
Yeah. So when is the next one?
Well, I actually have another neck plank that's made out of this same wood. I have a 3x3 headstock set up for it. And I might do something, like I wanted to do something different that I hadn't done. Obviously, creating the fretboard on it was one thing I didn't do because that was already done. So that was a step up. And then I'm like, I haven't done binding. I'm going to do some binding. But while I was at Woodcraft over in Dedham, I found some nice maple veneers, and I'm like, I'm building this body out of basswood, so it's going to be a solid color because it's not really a pretty, grain or anything on it. And I'm like, wait, I got these veneers. Hey, I haven't veneered anything yet. Let me try a veneer, and did that. It came out pretty well. And then I said, you know what? I want to do binding. I saw a Sully guitar where he had done binding on a V, and it just makes it really pop. And once I got this on there, I was like, yeah, that's the way to go.
Yeah.
So now I got to get the body pretty much ready to go. I got to build a cavity, control cavity cover, and then glue it, fret it, put it together, take it apart, and send it out to get painted.
Yeah, cool. Speaking of Sully guitars, I just thought, does one of the guys in Striper play a Sully guitar?
Yes, Michael Sweet is one of his newest Sully artists. So he's got
Okay,
Michael
and
Sweet now. And
it's like a V, but
yep.
it looks maybe slightly like a slightly downsized V. It looks.
Yeah, it's almost like a I believe it's about a King V size, like a Jackson King V. So it's
Okay,
but
it looks a little
it's
smaller, but
yes, but it's but it is he's the newest artist. He's also got Stevie D from Buck Cherry as well, and a bunch of other guys who are just really phenomenal guitar players too. I can't name them all off the top of my head. I know Perfecto de Castro, Adam Nunez, Greg Mara, Chef Brian Sau, Rodrigo from down in Chile. But yeah, he's got a
and the
bunch of
girl
guys.
from
But
the
it's like he's got a
TikTok
couple of
girl
good
or
ones.
something, right?
Yes, the TikTok girl. That was awesome. That was an amazing pickup.
Yeah.
You know, it's. I think that her video that she posted on YouTube had like 170,000 views last time I checked it. I'm sure it's up to over a 250,000 by now. But I mean, that's people that hadn't heard his name before. All of a sudden, it's like boom. There's and I'm sure that there are guitar players that are angry about it. You know, why does dude? Not for nothing, man. He's in a business. He's there to live inside. He needs to make money to live indoors.
Right.
But that was an awesome pickup. I was so psyched. It was funny because I joked around about it when he posted. He originally posted it, and another one of his guys friends reached out to him on it, and he reached out to her on it. And next thing you know, it's like boom, it's done. But I made a comment. I'm like, hey, have you reached out yet?
Yeah.
little did I know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was awesome. That was a great pickup. And again, it's it's good for her. Good for her. You know, these getting called out on social media and be like, okay, you know what? You say I can't name these songs. Well, let's play them instead. You know, and I was impressed. She plays pretty well. She busted out the riff from Battery. I'm like, oh, I don't know that one.
Yeah. yeah. It was really cool.
But yeah. So he's coming up and getting his name out there here and there and getting more popular. Like I said, just a really cool all around cool dude.
Yeah. Nice. And where is he located?
He's in North Dallas, Texas.
Okay. So it's a little ways away from us.
Yeah, a little ways away. It was a hike to get down there, and not too bad though. It was a quick flight back. Getting the guitar back was kind of funny because they wanted me to check it, and I'm like, no, I already checked the bag, and they're like, they told me up at the gate that it should be fine, you know. And actually, I should say they told me as I was going through I checked my bag, and then I brought the guitar, and they said, yeah, they have like a coat thing that you could probably hang it in or whatever. And the overhead compartments were pretty much empty. You know, they're shutting them in, and it's like, there's nothing in that one. There's nothing in that one. You know, why? Yeah. I get it. It's for ease of loading people on and off and getting it in quicker and getting it out of there quicker. But it's like, yeah, no, I'm not sending this through. It's in a gig bag. It's going up overhead, and it's going to sit there and be up there when I know when it's in one piece when I get it off the plane.
Right.
You know, and think of the other passengers. I checked one bag already. You know.
Yeah.
But,
a lot of people talk about. A lot of people talk about flying and stuff with guitars and things. I've never had a problem. If you can't fit it in the overhead, you can usually sweet talk one of the stewardesses into, you know, throwing it in with like their coat closet in the back.
Yep. Yeah. I mentioned that as I was getting on. I'm like, you know, and they're like, but I'm taking it. Okay, well, they're going to take it from you when you get down there. That's fine.
Yeah.
So I get down there, just walked right on, and they didn't even say anything. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But again, it's peace of mind. And I had seen some horror stories, and I'm like, you know, I just spent a really cool week building this thing, and I am not going to risk having it get destroyed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun though. It's a good, because it's not my job. It's actually rewarding, and there's way more sanding to this than you would think, you know. And it's sanding. Yeah. And then you sit there and you look at it up close, and you're like, I can still see some scratches. Time for more sanding. And the running joke of the sanding never ends. At some point, it has to end, and you just go, you know what? It's good enough. It's going.
Right.
Ship it.
Yeah, but I mean,
Shit.
you only get one shot to do it.
Right. Right. And you want it to be as best as it can. And again, you do it, you learn from your mistakes, and you try to make the next one better. And so back to the next one, because I got ahead of myself on that. Yeah, the next one I
Right.
think I'm
Yeah,
going
yeah,
to try to
yeah.
do
We
something with.
kind of rambled.
I think, yeah, freewheeling.
Yes, yes.
But yeah, the next one I think I'm going to try to do something where I might do a like a thicker top, and then chamber it and maybe do like a sound hole or whatnot, and do a semi hollow, because I the only semi hollow body that I have is my Chevelle Surfcaster,
Mhm.
which I got that for a steal. It was marked wrong on the internet. It was marked at five 589 on the guitar, but it was 289 online. And I went
Yeah.
into it was Daddy's Junkie Music at the time, and I went in and they were opening a store, and they're like, "Oh, we have got a grand opening. We can't pull that out of the store unless it doesn't sell." So it didn't sell. They brought it in. And they're like, "Okay, that's 589," and I go, "It's listed for 289 online." And they looked it up, and they're like, "Oh, yeah, yeah, it's got a case. What's up with the case?" And they're like, "It didn't come with a case." "Oh, it's marked online that it has a case." "Oh, yeah."
Yeah.
so so I ended up picking that up like real cheap, and that the neck on that thing is super super thin,
Mhm.
like to the point where I'm like, ooh, this is almost too thin. but
Yeah.
it was a great score on that one, and they were like, yeah, if we made deals like this, we'd be out of business, and well, they're out of business,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
that was a cool find.
So how many guitars do you think you've had over the years?
Well, I think the current running total is maybe like 18 right at the moment. I have had a few that I've sold. I have a problem selling them. That's one of the things. It's like if I was ever to build stuff, it's like I have a problem selling. Like I can't sell the first one, and then it's like I'll make another one and be like, oh man, this one came out really cool. I can't sell this
Right.
one either. And I can't sell my Model 6 because that was like one of my first, well, my third real guitar. I can't sell my Les Paul. That was my high school graduation gift to myself.
Yeah.
I got rid of an Ibanez XV500 to put towards my Chevelle, and then I regretted getting rid of that because that was kind of a one-off type. It was made for 1 year, I think, 85. I
Mhm.
found another one that somebody had butchered the access, because the access sucked on it. And I bought that before I went down to Texas. I was like, I got to take this apart, and I got to start. I'm going to refix this. I'm going to get a piece of basswood. I'm going to glue it in there and shape it and get it squared away. And I did that, and that was kind of my first getting my feet wet and doing some of the woodworking and stuff.
Mhm.
And I went after that pretty hard after I got back too, because I'm like, the access is all because of the back of the heel, like right in here.
Yeah.
If it's squared off, it's, especially with that tight little angle on that thing, you can't get up and in there. So I rounded over the back of that thing, and I got rid of the plate that was on it and put some little ferrules in. Made it play. It's a lot better for the fret axis, but it's still, I still have trouble getting all the way up to the top on it. And if I
Yeah.
look really close in the paint, I can see where it telegraphed through a little bit. But
Yeah.
it's one of those things where it is what it is. It's a million times better. I learned something and got something done.
Yeah.
But
Awesome.
that one came out pretty cool too.
Do you have a
But yeah,
guitar
so
that Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say I had a couple others that I got rid of that were just like, yeah, this one's not really doing anything for me. It was like a Strat type thing. I think it was a Court or whatever it was, and it's like, yeah, no, gone. See you later. Um, and the very first one that I had was like a little 3/4 size student Court that I traded in for my Ibanez, or towards my Ibanez, and never looked back on that one. That one's just like, yeah, I'm glad I don't have that anymore. It was just a junky first time student guitar.
Yeah. Any guitar that you seriously regret letting go?
Uh, because I haven't really let many go, then no.
Yeah.
But I think the only one that really was that first Ibanez XV500. But I found another one, and I made it I found when they needed fixing and I fixed it. And, but other than that, no, I don't think so. Um, I've been toying around with, possibly moving some stuff I don't play. I have like my Chevelle 750 XL, which I'd probably play it more. It's got EMGs in it, and I'm not overly excited about the EMGs. I think that if I put passive pickups in it, it would make it a lot better. And it's a really, really phenomenal guitar. But it's just like, yeah, it just sits because I have other ones that I play more.
Yeah.
And once I got the Alita and whatnot, and the body size, as you know, with an Explorer shape, it's a big body size, and it's everything's shifted further over.
Right. Yeah.
I usually play I play righty on my left knee, so I'm usually right here, but now I have to be over here. But I've gotten used to that and where everything is on it. And I really dig that one. And the class guitar is pretty much my go-to.
Yeah.
Just because it's, it can fit in the front seat of the car, which is where I get most of my practice at lunchtime. I plug into my phone, into my stereo and go.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we've been chatting for like a half hour or so.
Yeah.
So, you're a very interesting dude.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. When all this is over, we need to get together and we can jam and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be great. And hopefully when all of this is over, we'll get a chance to do like another karaoke type thing and whatnot. And that was a blast.
Yeah.
Speaking of out of comfort zones, it's like, okay, I'm up here playing in front of other guitar players. It's comfort zone.
Right.
Get out of it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what life's all about.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, man.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And I'm sure I will see you online.
Yeah, I'm on there. I'm pretty much on Facebook a bunch. So, it's just something to do.
Okay. Can't wait to see the guitar finished.
All right, man. I can't wait to get it finished. Have you check it out.
Yes. Cool. See ya.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, take care.